What's good, y'all, man? So we're going to talk about Heisman resumes via Fox College Football, right? Now, we talked about earlier in the week, we talked about between Travis and Ashton Jeanty, who had the higher Heisman case out of those two, right? And I was like, it depends on what you're looking for, right? Ashton Jeanty is doing something that hasn't been done in like 36, 37 years. He's on par in comparison with Barry Sanders, right? We know he's a Hall of Famer, right, in the NFL. So what he's doing is not really seen that far that often. And we know what Travis can do, right? But we got two new names we're going to add. And that's Cam Ward and Dillon Gabriel. Let's start with Dillon Gabriel. So Gabriel is the number one team in the country, right? 2,080 yards, 15 passing touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Beat a highly ranked Ohio State, who I still believe is a top 5 team in the country, right? And I like what I've seen. Now, he struggled early out. And I wouldn't say the schedule necessarily was very tough, right? Idaho, Boise State's a good team. I don't want to knock them. But I feel like those struggles just kind of helped them out, right? Electric offense, one of those games they beat Ohio State. Tej Johnson didn't even have his best game. Only had 75 yards and a touchdown. But we're going to really see what he's made of. Like in a few weeks, they got to go to Michigan. And you guys can say what you want. I know the offense is not that good. I know they're struggling at quarterback. I know the weapons are not there for Michigan this year. I know. But that's still a tough atmosphere to play in Ann Arbor and try to go in there and beat them. All right? So we're going to see more tests for him and see how he's able to come out. But I would say for sure he's a Heisman finalist. What he's doing right now, obviously a couple more weeks left in the season and go before we obviously crown this award. But he's definitely in that conversation. He's looked good. They look good throughout most of the season, and the consensus number one team in the country. So I definitely think he's in that conversation. Now, Cam Ward, we talked about a lot earlier when I did my video about him getting an NIL deal. So I'll make this quick. I won't go too much in depth on him. But like I said, 24 touchdowns, 2,538 yards passing. But what's been most impressive that is not talked about enough with Cam Ward, and y'all can say, well, some of this he's doing himself, which is true, right? The early interceptions in the Virginia Tech game didn't look too hot. Had the pick 6 in the California game. But what I like about him is his resolve, right? His ability to kind of overcome the adversity, continue to make those big plays and big throws. And when they need it the most, he's doing it, right? Xavier Strepo, Damian Martinez, like these guys coming up with big play after big play for the Hurricanes. And you got to credit Cam Ward for that. So he's making a strong case, and y'all can call me crazy. Now, I do really like Shedeur Sanders, right? But he's making the case to be the number one quarterback off the board for the NFL. Now, you say what you want. It's supposed to be Carson Beck, but he struggled. I told y'all, big games, he reminds me, I don't say he reminds me of Jackson Dart, but he struggled in those big games this year. You know what I'm saying? Got to be better. And I know a lot of y'all said in the last video, oh, well, a lot of receivers drop balls. I get that. I understand. But he still has not performed up to snuff. In that first half and throughout most of the third quarter, he got it going. We're struggling against Alabama, okay? So that's my point with Beck, right? And he had 3 interceptions last game. That defense just was on fire. That's kind of my point. So I think Cam Ward is positioning himself to be one of the first quarterbacks off the board. And think about this, y'all. Miami has not been relevant in years. You got to go back to the 2000s, right? It's been a long time. We've been asking, is the U back? I don't want to say single-handedly because it's a team effort. And Miami got a lot of great players. But he's helping them immensely in getting back into where the U is back and they could potentially win an ACC championship. I definitely think they're going to get there. I do think they're going to slip up on one of the teams, but I still think they'll have enough in order to get to an ACC championship game and win it and get in the college football playoff. All right, Ashton Jeanty, we talked about him as well. I like what he's doing, man. 17 touchdowns, 1,248 yards rushing. He's been electric, man. And he has, I was seeing a stat today, he has runs of 70, 77, 54 plus yards. Like, whenever he touches the ball, he's a threat to score. And that's dynamite right there. That's dynamic. And that's what he is. And he's doing it at a Group 5 level. Now, that's not a disrespect to Group 5. Group 5 teams are great, and they're going to be in this college football playoff. But I love what he's doing with his team, and I love the story that he has and how he continues to churn out. And he even gave Travis his respect. We talked about it early in the week. So Jeanty for sure. I said, like I said, clear cut right now, I'm going to go Jeanty. Jeanty's I think the best player in college football what he's doing with his team. You know what I'm saying? And that's respect to all these guys, Cam Ward, Dillon Gabriel, and Travis. I'm going to make the Travis case here in a second. But what he's doing, and I don't think Boise State's never made a college football playoff. You know, now it's only been 4 teams. This is the first year it's 12. But to be in that conversation and to be right on the outside, to be able to get in there, that says a lot. All right, next up, Travis. Now, this one's hard. Travis is a hard 2 for me. I almost want to put him 1. The problem is Travis has missed time. Right now, he's going to play against Cincinnati, but Travis has missed time. And a lot of people are saying, well, that's because he plays both sides and so many snaps. But what he does and how he impacts the game on both sides is something to behold. No other player in college football can say they do what Travis does. That's why I think he could definitely win this award. But the thing is, Colorado has to be relevant. And by relevant, I mean they got to be in that college football playoff conversation. I don't know if they'll get in, but they have to be in that conversation. And they have to be there at the end, potentially contending for a Big 12 championship spot. That's probably their best bet to get in. Because remember, guys, there's 4 automatic bids, right? Big 10, SEC, ACC, and Big 12, right? There is multiple, obviously for them, for each conference. You know what I'm saying? So, well, actually, y'all forgive me. You only get 1 spot per conference. Forgive me. I don't want to confuse nobody here. Come off wrong. So it's important for them to be in that conversation. And the way they got to do it, Travis got to be healthy. Now, credit Shedeur Sanders, Martin Miller, Shepard, some of those guys for coming up big for Colorado because they have. But they need their superstar to be there. And that's the key. He has to remain healthy. Has been dealing with a shoulder issue. Didn't play the second half of last game. Same thing kind of when they played against Kansas State. They played second half. I think if he plays, they win that game. They right in that conversation. So what Travis is doing on both sides of the ball, elite corner, great instincts, great ball skills, offensively, same thing. Great body control, dynamic in the open field, big yak guy, also can go up and get the 50-50 ball. It's so much he can do. But the key for Travis, and the only thing I'll say to knock on him right now is health. That's why Ashton Jeanty is running away with it. He's healthy, he's playing, he's leading his team to victories. Travis has been hurt, so that's kind of hurting him a little bit. So again, if I had to put it right now, I'm putting Ashton Jeanty 1, Cam Ward 2, Travis 3, and Dillon Gabriel 4. No disrespect to any of them. I think Travis should be up there at number 1, but he has to be healthy. If he's not healthy, it's going to be tough to say he deserves the Heisman. But imagine this. A couple more games in the season, 4 more. Imagine if Travis has 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, right? And then he has on defense, he gets up to 5 interceptions. I think it's clear cut. He wins. That's just my humble opinion. But he has to get his numbers up, has to be healthy. That's the key. All right, y'all. So that's my thoughts on it, man. Heisman resumes, all those guys, Ashton Jeanty, Cam Ward, Dillon Gabriel, Travis Hunter. Y'all comment below who has the best case for Heisman right now. Not in the future, right now. I want to hear y'all thoughts. Tell me in the comments on YouTube, TikTok, who has the best Heisman case? Who's the best resume out of these 4 guys? I want to hear y'all thoughts. And comment below, am I crazy for having Ashton Jeanty at number 1? I want to hear y'all thoughts, man.